There's a brand new highway coming to Arizona's Valley of the Sun, and it could completely change traffic across the state. So what is this massive highway project, and when will you actually be able to drive on it? Well, in this video, we're going to take a closer look at this huge project, why Arizona even needs it in the first place, and how it could change the state's traffic flow in the future. I'm talking about a brand new freeway called State Route 30, or more specifically, Arizona Route 30. But before we get started, make sure to like the video, and if you're into this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now let's head over to Arizona and see what this massive highway project is really all about. Before we talk about State Route 30, we first need to understand Phoenix itself. Because if we don't understand what the actual problem is, we can't really understand why Arizona felt the need to build a massive freeway like State Route 30. Phoenix is located in Maricopa County, Arizona, and as of 2026, its population has grown to more than 1.7 million people. Today, Phoenix is one of the 10 largest metro areas in the United States, and what's really interesting is that there are no major signs of its population growth slowing down anytime soon. The region is also home to some fast-growing suburban communities, where single-family homes are everywhere. Because of that, many projections suggest Phoenix could reach a population of around 2 million by 2050. But here's the interesting part. Even with all that growth, Phoenix already has a pretty well-developed road network. The city has just two interstate highways, I-10, which runs east to west, and I-17, which heads north from downtown. Phoenix doesn't have any auxiliary interstates, but state routes 101, 202, and 303 work almost like interstate highways. On top of that, US 60 and Arizona 51 also function as freeways. That's why a lot of people say Phoenix is already full of interstate quality roads. But there was still one major gap in that network. On the western side of Phoenix, most of the traffic pressure falls on I-10. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons why Arizona wants State Route 30 to become another major route for that corridor. And you can clearly see that in I-10's traffic numbers. Interstate 10 isn't just one of Phoenix's most important highways, it's one of the most important highways in the entire United States. It's the southernmost transcontinental highway in the interstate highway system, and also the fourth longest interstate in the country. One of its busiest sections is the Broadway Curve in Phoenix, where more than 300,000 vehicles pass through on an average weekday. And that traffic isn't expected to slow down anytime soon. By 2040, that number is expected to grow by another 25%, which means roughly 75,000 more vehicles will be using this corridor. These numbers simply show that traffic demand across the Phoenix area keeps growing. And that's probably why the Arizona Department of Transportation, the Federal Highway Administration, and the Maricopa Association of Governments are already planning for the future by expanding the highway network and adding more capacity, with Arizona Route 30 being one of those projects. So now let's talk about what this highway project actually is. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a brand new freeway that's being built in the Phoenix area of Arizona. It's called Arizona Route 30, although it's also known as the Tres Rios Freeway, which literally means Three Rivers Freeway. It got that name because there are three rivers in this area. To keep things simple, I'll just call it Arizona 30 throughout this video. It's going to be a roughly 29-mile east-west freeway built through the Southwest Valley, and its main job is to give drivers an alternative to Interstate 10, helping reduce traffic along that corridor. We'll get into how it could actually reduce traffic on I-10 a little later, but first, let's understand what this project looks like. So, where exactly will Arizona 30 run? The Maricopa Association of Governments has already released the official project map, and as you can see, Arizona 30 will run parallel to Interstate 10, stretching from State Route 85 all the way to I-17 at the Durango Curve. The freeway will pass through Buckeye, Goodyear, Avondale, and Phoenix. According to the Arizona Department of Transportation, the project has been divided into three sections. The central section will run from Loop 303 to Loop 202 and will be about 13 miles long. The west section will run from State Route 85 to Loop 303, and that section will also be about 13 miles long. And finally, the east section will connect Loop 202 to Interstate 17 and will be just 3 miles long. According to the Regional Transportation Plan, or RTP, the central section will be built first because it's expected to provide the biggest traffic relief for I-10. That central section will also be built in multiple segments. The first segment, from 97th Avenue to Loop 202, is already in its final design phase. Construction is expected to begin in the summer of 2027, and it's expected to take about 3 years to complete. This segment will be about 4.5 miles long. It's being designed to handle traffic demand through the year 2050. It will open with 3 lanes in each direction, but in the future, it can be expanded to 4 lanes plus 1 HOV lane on each side. The project will also include interchanges at 91st, 83rd, and 67th Avenue, along with a multi-use path between 97th Avenue and Loop 202 for pedestrians and cyclists. Noise walls will also be added wherever they're needed. Construction on the next segment, from Dysart Road to 97th Avenue, is expected to begin in 2029. After that, work on the Estrella Parkway to Dysart Road segment is expected to begin in 2031. The final central section segment from Loop 303 to Dysart Road is expected to begin construction in 2033. Once it's finished in 2035, the entire central section will finally be complete. So just building the central section alone could take around 8 years. After that, the freeway will eventually expand west towards State Route 85 in Buckeye, which will become the project's west section and will be built last. Now, as for the east section, a separate study was carried out to figure out the best way to connect it to I-17. After public feedback and engineering studies, the South Corridor was selected as the preferred alternative. It's expected to reduce congestion on both I-10 and I-17 while also saving travel time. Funding for this section has been included under the Regional Transportation Plan known as Momentum. Now, a project this big obviously isn't going to be finished overnight. Looking at the overall timeline, it could take around 25 years to fully complete Arizona 30. The central section is expected to be finished first, probably around 2035. The other two sections aren't expected to begin until around 2045 or 2046, which means seeing the entire freeway completed before 2050 seems pretty unlikely. Now, a project this big obviously isn't cheap. On average, building State Route 30's 29-mile freeway is expected to cost around $172 million per mile. For comparison, freeway construction in Los Angeles usually costs somewhere between $40 million and $100 million per mile. So where is Arizona getting the money to pay for all of this? The answer is Proposition 479. In 2024, voters in Maricopa County approved a half-cent sales tax. It's actually the same tax that had been in place under Proposition 400 and was set to expire in 2026. Voters were asked if they wanted to keep that tax going for another 20 years so it could continue funding roads, highways, and other transportation projects. And they voted yes. Because of that, the tax is expected to generate somewhere between $15 billion and $27 billion by 2045. Of that money, 40.5% will go toward freeways, 22.5% toward roads, and 37% toward public transit. Planning and managing these projects is handled by the Maricopa Association of Governments, or MAG, which works with all 27 cities and towns across Maricopa County on regional transportation planning. Interestingly, back in 2016, the Arizona Department of Transportation also looked into making SR 30 a toll road as a way to speed up construction. But after public opposition, that idea never moved forward. So for now, SR 30 is being funded through Proposition 479 instead, and the plan is to keep it free to drive. But what does Arizona actually get by spending all that money? The state believes State Route 30 won't just be another highway. It could make a huge difference for traffic across the western side of the Phoenix area. Right now, the West Valley is in the middle of a massive population boom, with some of the fastest growing cities in the United States. And that growth is already putting a lot of pressure on I-10. West of downtown Phoenix, rush hour traffic on I-10 often turns into bumper-to-bumper congestion, making the daily commute slow and frustrating. And it's not just a problem for people commuting to work. According to John Bullen, Assistant Executive Director of the Maricopa Association of Governments, this section of I-10 is critical for both commuters and commerce between the Valley and California. In other words, traffic here doesn't just affect people's daily commute. It also affects business and freight moving through the region. That's probably why State Route 30 is being seen as such an important project. Even though it's only about 29 miles long, it's expected to handle roughly 30% of I-10 Phoenix's total traffic. Right now, the drive from Buckeye to downtown Phoenix usually takes around 45 to 60 minutes. But once SR 30 is complete, that trip could drop to just 20 minutes. MAG also expects the projects funded by Proposition 479 to reduce average afternoon travel times by about 1/3, while cutting daily traffic congestion on key freight corridors by 51,000 hours. On top of that, the project is expected to save around 32 million passenger hours during its first 5 years after construction is complete. By 2040, it could reduce I-10 rush hour travel times by 20%. And by 2050, it's expected that around 177,000 vehicles will be using this road every day. Now, it'll be interesting to see just how much Arizona 30 actually changes traffic in Phoenix. On one hand, it could take pressure off I-10, cut down travel times, and support the region's future growth. But at the same time, Phoenix just keeps growing. So will this new freeway actually solve future traffic problems, or will it end up just as crowded as I-10 a few years from now? That's something we'll have to wait and see. But what do you think? Do you think Arizona 30 is the right investment for the state? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.